Hi, my name is Giselle and I work with Flex International. Today we're going to do a quick demo on how to use your new model EF250 leg exercise machine. This particular model is on wheels and can be used from any type of chair generally. You can use it from a wheelchair, from a scooter, from a kitchen chair. Once you have decided on a location, you're going to want to adjust the height of the machine. What you need to do here is to hold the handle and undo the black knob, lower or increase the height to the desired level. Once you have placed the machine in the location you wish, you are going to need to lock the machine into position. In order to do that, you push your base handle back until it sits flat onto the base of the machine and take the locking lever and make sure that it covers your base handle completely. Your legs are now deployed under the base and the machine is now locked. Now we're going to review the functions of your controller. The controller is attached to the EF250 by 2 screws. Your main power switch is on the side of the control box, and your on and off power switch is to the left. Your forward and off reverse switch is to the right, and your speed switch consists of low, medium, and high. We do suggest that when starting your exercise program, you start with the low speed and increase the speed according to your exercise program and how you're progressing. To the left, we have the modes, and this consists of the timer, the BIOF, the trip, and the total. In order to set your timer, you press your arrow up, and this will increase your time by 5 minutes increments. A second press will give you 10 minutes. If you wish to decrease, you press your arrow down, and this will decrease by 1 minute increments. The second mode is the BIO. The biofeedback mode is used to measure the user's resistance and/or assistance. For example, if a user has tone, stiffness, or spasticity in their legs, this would cause resistance and require the motor to work harder to turn their limbs. As the user becomes more relaxed and flexible, the BIOF numbers will decrease. This display enables someone with little or no feeling or voluntary movement in their limbs to see the movement is actually making a difference. If the user is using the machine actively or applying some of their own strength in assisting overriding the motor, then the leg display will show a decrease in the BIO numbers. This shows the user or the caregiver that the user is assisting the machine in building strength. Your trip mode is actually measuring the distance covering during a given session. It will reset to 0 every time you turn the power off. The total mode is basically an accumulation of all of the mileage or kilometers covered during the life of the machine. Now we're going to use the machine with a resident or a customer. What we've done actually when assembling the machine is we selected the hole that is in the center of the crank arm, which will allow us to use the machine with a shorter amplitude. In many instances, we've found that starting the exercise program using a shorter range of motion is better until the clients get used to the movements and are able to spend more time on the exercise program. So now we're going to use the machine with someone sitting in a wheelchair. Whenever possible, you need to be able to move the footrest of the wheelchair to the side, or better yet, if you're able to remove them altogether, so that we can get a little closer to the machine. Now, do not lock the machine into position just yet. We need to make sure that we are close enough or not too far before we make a final decision on the distance away from the wheelchair. Now, I've put the foot in the footrest. What's important when using your leg straps is you have a longer strap which you can pull away the tongue of the shoe and make sure that it is tightly or snugly put all around the ankle to the back and attached to the Velcro in order to make sure that the ankle is not going to have any movement during the exercise program. The shorter strap just simply attaches to the side of the footrest again against a piece of Velcro. Now we can lock the machine into position for the time being until we have an opportunity to do a rotation or two to ensure that it is set properly. I'm now going to use the forward and off reverse function to bring the pedal down, and this will allow me to put the other foot in without lifting too much. You push again the shoe to the end of the footrest and make sure that the leg strap is attached to the back of the ankle and to the side. Now we're going to do a bit of a test to ensure the machine is straight. The individual should be sitting straight and not leaning to one side or bending forward to allow for the most movement in the hip and to prevent the person from getting full extension during the rotations. Now I think I'm a little bit far away. I'm going to move up a little bit more and lock it into position here. We're going to do one rotation in order to make sure that we don't get a full extension during the full turn. All right, so what you can do is put your hand on the person's knee while the machine is turning to make sure that the legs are never fully extended. And in this particular case, we have a good position. If the person is comfortable, you can go ahead and do a few minutes for the first time is enough. We usually recommend a 5-minute session. We also strongly suggest that you split your time for your sessions between forward and reverse. Simply press on the off position of the controller, and once you press again, it will start in the opposite direction. The reverse movement will provide different ankle movement than the forward movement does. Now you can stop the machine once again. Now, before you start your session, set your timer to the required amount of time that you desire. And once the timer is set, the machine does shut off once you've reached that particular amount of time while you're exercising. Now make sure that before you turn the power off, you have recorded your trip session. Otherwise, it will reset to 0 if you don't record it ahead of time. With each one of your EF250s, you're going to receive a 40-inch leg strap. In certain instances, we have one of your client's legs may be pointing inward, and in some cases may be even touching the other knee. So in order to have a comfortable rotation and to have a knee, hip, and ankle alignment, or as much as possible, you will use the leg strap by placing it under the knee, and then you can use the wheel of the wheelchair to attach it to and pull away as much or as little as you need in order to facilitate the alignment. Now we are now able to proceed with this particular scenario. So another way to use your leg strap is if you have both legs that have a tendency to fall apart and they're not aligned, the way we're going to use them, the leg strap, is to put it under both knees and bring the knees closer together, but of course, and again, we're trying to align them with the hip, knee, and ankle. And a third scenario that you may find is that you may have both knees that have a tendency to touch each other. In that particular instance, you may need to get an additional leg strap. You will use one on the right leg and one also on the left leg to keep them apart.